The Sofia Gray Show.
Hello, listeners and kinky friends. Welcome to the Sofia Gray Show, where we discuss all things sex, kinks, and fetishes. From the sex stories to the latest trends in the erotic world, we talk taboo transparently. This podcast is brought to you by Sofia Gray, the largest used underwear marketplace. I'm Lacey Bloom, and today I'm joined by Taara and James, open relationship educators, international speakers, and co-hosts of Sex Uninterrupted, a podcast designed to show couples interested in or already in a non-monogamous relationship how to meet others and have exciting, fulfilling, and safe sexual experiences. Welcome to the show, Taara and James.
Hi, thank you so much for having us on your show today.
I'm so happy to have you with me. First of all, thank you for joining me here today. And I wanted to thank you both for speaking so openly about both your relationship as well as just, speaking about relationships that aren't necessarily the typical monogamous relationship, because I think that's the best way to normalize any kind of relationship outside of monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, we realized early on in our relationship that we had gone through probably some relationships that weren't necessarily our sort of style, and then when we kind of got together, we wanted to create a relationship that worked for both of us. And it's kind of how it started. And then I love talking and Taara loves writing. So it kind of worked out well in our favor that we ended up, finding, what we like to call relationship by design. And we designed our own relationship and it works for us.
I love that. I love that whole idea of relationship by design. And I love that you guys are also, putting it out there to help other people, it seems like, also design their own relationships.
Yeah. Absolutely. We want everybody to have a choice. And that's kind of the one thing that the lifestyle and non-monogamy kind of represents, is having a choice. And everybody should have a choice. And you have the ability to say yes to any sort of scenario, but you also have the ability to say no. And I think that that's very empowering when it comes to non-monogamy and the lifestyle. Is owning your no is one of the things that you start to realize early, that you don't want to do anything that's going to be a detriment, one, to your relationship or
your mental health
or yourself. Yeah. So, there's a lot of things in there that I think it's so empowering to be able to design your own relationship and then be able to fit in where you feel the most comfortable.
You mean we're all not supposed to fit into this one idea of being with one man and one woman together forever?
Of course. No. Let's be honest. We don't play with anybody.
It really is. I mean, when you think about it, it really is, and not knocking anyone who does practice monogamy, but it does seem just like such a very specific high standard to live up to, of that one, the very small parameter.
Well, and even when people do, sometimes they're not happy, sometimes they're not faithful. And it's both people that suffer in the long run if they're not living their truth and speaking authentically to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious, before we get into our topic of the day, what are some of the benefits that you both have found in your relationship of practicing non-monogamy?
Honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty has come by. It's one of those things that, I always said that I wanted to be in a relationship where we had honest communication, where no matter what we were about to say, we had, one, compassion for what the other had to say, but also you weren't compromising yourself in what you wanted and what you wanted to achieve or what you want to experience. And I think that, that honesty of being so honest, because I went through relationship after relationship of, not being able to talk about the things that I wanted, or even sex, really. Mostly sexual was the things that I wanted to try and I wanted to do. And I lived in this state of almost denial or fear. Actually, it was more a fear of what the reaction of my partner was going to be if I had brought something like this up. And I think that over the time of us being together, me and Taara, Taara and I should say, I guess. But after being together, it's when we started out as friends with benefits, there was this almost a sense of not having to worry about losing the other person because we had already established a pretty decent friendship. And then from there, it grew into this honesty that we started to share so much of our lives and stuff that like I had never told anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And even stuff that you had probably not told many people, you had told me. So that's one thing, one of the benefits for me is being brutally and learning to be brutally honest with one yourself and then your partner, because you're sharing a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like you're sharing one, potentially the sanctity of your relationship. But, you know, so that honesty brings a sense of comfortability. It brings a sense of trust. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Taara, or did James just like pretty much cover it all?
Oh, no.
I was thinking at first, I was like, yeah, I agree. Like the honesty and the communication is definitely something I value. But like I'm a Gemini, so I've always been quite communicative in my relationships. It hasn't been well received at all times, but I think I introduced that to him, which he really appreciated. For me, the lifestyle has really empowered me as a woman, honestly. Like being able to dress however I'd like for an event, flirt with other men while my partner watched, even like have two men at once. It's very empowering. And the women that I meet in the lifestyle are also, for the most part, very compassionate, very not competitive, if that makes sense. Like they always are complimenting you and, you know, like trying to get you to hook up with their husband.
Right.
Like it's the opposite of what you face.
Yeah, it's not like a combative thing. It's more of a collective, like build up of everybody, you know, wanting to, you know, be sexy and feel good. And it's kind of what like we call kind of the facade of the lifestyle. But even then it's like, it's so good to feel good. And when you have all these people around you that are just building you up and, you know,
your confidence definitely goes up.
Absolutely.
And, you know, for women, I feel like we're constantly told how our sexuality should be, how we should act, how we should dress, what we should wear, like all of these things coming at us at once. And in lifestyle, you have the freedom to make your own choices. Like people wear so many different costumes when it comes to a certain theme at an event, you know, like it's not just
black and I don't want to say black and white, but it's not like, it's not very like segmented into specific ways of having to be. That's what one thing that I like to call the lifestyle is like this big umbrella, right, of all these different lifestyles. And you know, it's I got put into like a frame of mind when a buddy of mine that I told about all the experiences that we were having, and he said to me, he's like, you know what's crazy? He's like, people spend their whole lives looking for a place to belong. Yes. Right? They look for friendships, a group, whatever it happens to be. And you found that at a very young age. So like, he's like, I'm almost like shocked and proud and jealous almost in a sense, because I've found a community where I feel like I belong. And like Taara said, the confidence, like I didn't necessarily need more confidence, but it made me more confident to be able to talk to technically anybody and, you know, and not have like the little, even still be kind of nervous, but not like overly nervous to talk to somebody.
Comes with the business though too.
True.
Right.
We do talk a lot, right?
That's cool. I mean, I'm a talker too. I'm an Aries, so I'm made to talk. But
you and me both.
Oh, really? You're an Aries too?
Oh yeah.
All right, fire signs for the win. I think you both touched on some really important points, and I know, you know, speaking as a woman, I totally understand the whole feeling to Taara of, you know, I feel like more often than not, women tear other women down, which is just so unfortunate. So it's great to hear that there's such a great sense of community within this lifestyle.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. And I guess like my whole life, I didn't have like very
good support
strong supportive women around me. They kind of, you know, don't wear this. Why are you doing this at the bar? And so this was the first time I was able to have friendships where I was encouraged to be myself and celebrated for being myself too, which I didn't know was something women did for each other until the lifestyle.
Which is so sad. I mean, you hear all the
same thing.
Yeah.
It's true. You know, you met me right before we got into it, and I didn't have many
good
women who were
yeah.
very supportive of who I was.
Yeah.
And it's different. And even myself, I never really had any like, you know, very supportive guys in the lifestyle. But then I have like guys that are cheering me on while I'm fucking their wife. Like this is a community that, again, like I said, it's just this. It's a feeling of belonging that I've longed for a long time, and it's just so great to be a part of right now.
Well, I'm so glad you both found it, because I mean, that's like you said, it's very difficult to, you know, be out there looking for any sort of community to embrace you and one that you can be yourself with completely. And unfortunately, I feel like so many people never find that community. So it sounds like you both have, though, which is fantastic.
Yeah, we feel pretty grateful.
Oh, we are blessed. And not to say that any other form of relationship is better or worse than the other. And that's never what we're going to say. But we chose non-monogamy because it was the best fit for us.
Right.
It was our relationship that we designed for us. If monogamy is your choice, then, you know, choose monogamy. If monogamish or polyamory or any form of relationship that you want to try out, again, it all starts with communicating and learning how to come to those, I guess, realizations of how you want your relationship to continue on and move forward.
Right. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. I do want to ask you guys, how did the Sex Uninterrupted podcast come to be?
Oh, well.
You know, from one podcaster to another.
That started when we went to Hedonism back in 2015. That was our first lifestyle trip. And I was looking for information about it. And to be honest, I couldn't find much information. I didn't know what to expect. Like, I was actually going to get my period there. Like, what did people do? And if I did find information, I found it was more like very generalized,
right,
not very detailed. And so I thought, hey, I'm just going to write a blog every single day that we're there and share it on Blogspot, which I did. And people emailed me, they replied to it, they really liked it. So I wanted to start doing more. And well, James is the talker, right? So
and I've always wanted to do a podcast ever since I was like 16 or so. And I'm not sure why, but I just felt like I had a message and I wanted to share it. But I never wanted to be by myself, talking to people and trying to, you know, I don't want to be that like kind of know it all kind of person to be like, I know everything, but I don't know everything. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and even from then, I was like,
I think he was looking at me like, are you going to talk?
I was like, I'm not going to validate that. You can validate that.
No, well, and then it was like, I was like, okay, so do you want to do a podcast talking about this sort of stuff? Because when, again, like she said, when we started, we didn't find much information. There wasn't many podcasts.
And there was a few podcasters. There was like Swinger Diaries and Average Swingers, but we didn't really relate. I mean, we were in our mid
20s
to late 20s at that point, and these people had kids that were our age. So it wasn't the same experience that we would have that they are having, which we kind of later found out it kind of is.
But it's kind of the same, yeah.
But I think being a younger couple, there's different things you have to take into account for than if you've been in a relationship for 20, 30 years and then you're going into the lifestyle. I think that you're on two different playing grounds at that point, and we were looking for more information for people who are more like us that we could relate to. Well,
and then we started realizing that the average age of somebody in, let's say, the lifestyle or non-monogamy, that they are up. The average age is 39 years.
No, it's gone down.
I
looked it up.
Ooh,
it's
even better.
At 32 now is some of the stuff I was reading yesterday, actually.
That doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah, because of the millennials and stuff, they're saying like people like our age are starting to be like, hey, let's open up our relationship.
But anyways, when we started, it was like pretty much every statistic that we read was like average age is 39.
Yeah.
And so we started again, like trying to find information and go down this path. And it was just, we really wanted something that even people from ages 60 to, 21 or even as low as 18, but it was like we wanted to share information that kind of crossed all boundaries, because we like to say that sex transcends age. So you can have great sex at any age. So, whatever age that was, we wanted to start creating content where we were going to different resorts and different places and different parties and experiencing all this stuff, and kind of how Sex Uninterrupted came to be. And then
we also, being younger, we kind of realized why more of the podcasters were more older is because they were more established financially, and also maybe one of them wasn't working, and so they had more time with that. And that's when I quit my job to pursue this for full time, because I'm sure podcasting is a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it's very thankless. I mean, it's very much, just putting the product out there and hoping someone's listening.
Yep, exactly.
So if you're listening, give the Sofia Gray show a like, go over to Sex Uninterrupted, give us a like, and it's all good.
Yeah, perfect. And where can everybody find and follow the Sex Uninterrupted podcast?
The best place to go is just our website, sexuninterrupted.com. We do have an Instagram. We actually got it deleted about 3 months ago. Instagram deleted it. I had it for 4 years. All my memories, all my DMs, all my friends gone.
So rude, Instagram.
Our new one's Taara James, and I'm just being more careful with what I share now, because I guess they got their eye on me.
Right. Censorship at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But if you're on any of the major platforms, anywhere, we are pretty much...
for our podcast?
Yeah, the podcast. If you want to listen to the show, it's on every major platform. Look up Sex Uninterrupted and you will find it. And if you have a platform that if you can't see it on or can't find it, let us know. Trust me, I will find a way to get it on there. So it's been good.
Yeah, there you go. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, you can probably find Sex Uninterrupted. So no excuses, people.
Well, that's one of the things that when we started this is like, we didn't really, and not to say that we don't care about our listeners, but we didn't care who was listening. We just wanted to get the information out there because there just wasn't much of it.
Right.
And so we just started putting out information. Now, our first 2 years of podcasting, we'd put out like an episode a month maybe. So it was like this slow progression. And it wasn't until we signed with Voice America that we got on a weekly show and started talking more about the lifestyle. And it became more like
of a job.
Yeah. It became more of our life.
Our career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And honestly, I feel like the dream for any podcaster out there, regardless of what they're talking about. So that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It's just, it was a lot of hard work in the last couple of years, but the last little while it's been paying off and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. So, okay, well, I am calling on the both of you to share your experience with us, because today we are going to talk about play parties. And I'm assuming that as a non-monogamous couple, I'm sure at some point the both of you, either individually or together, have experienced probably a variety of play parties.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. So let's just start at the beginning with, in your personal experience, what can anybody expect at a typical play party? Or is there even such a thing as a typical, since the air quote, play party?
Well, I can't see your air quotes, so it all kind of depends. I think that a play party depends on where it's at, what it's consists of. If you're talking about a house party versus like a club, which could technically still have play on premise, they're all sort of, I don't know. The play party is more of, I don't know. They happen quite often. I
think a lot of times, now, and this is our experience, especially when we first started out, people would you'd be invited, or you would invite a group of people to go do something. It might be going to a club, coming over to your house, going to Stampede in
Yeah.
town, and then typically like going over to somebody's house after, and things would start to get like heated up.
Or there's planned parties and house party stuff like
exactly.
that.
Right.
Like there's so many different avenues of play parties.
When it comes to play parties. And it's just, there's so many different ones. So again, like we talked about before, the whole relationship by design, technically it's kind of like play party by design. If you have a specific idea in mind for a play party, more often than not, you should go looking for those people that technically either host those or enjoy attending them, so you could get invited to the next one. It's a lot of figuring out what you like, where you like it, and
Like
how hard you like it.
Some people don't really want to go to a club and play in front of a lot of people. They'd rather have a group of intimate people,
Sure.
either in a hotel room or at their house. And some people only want to go play when they're traveling. So they might go to an event like Naughty Nolans, or to a resort like Hedonism, with a group where there's going to be play parties that are organized within the guests mainly, right?
Yeah, exactly. And again, like we said, there's all sorts of different play parties. And I think that more often than not, you'll find yourself invited to a play party when you start intermingling and getting yourself out there more. We find that it's hard to find out what you like and what you don't like from behind a keyboard. So we always say, like, the best place to go and find them is either the internet or technically lifestyle clubs. That's kind of how, we started was, we started chatting with some people online, and then we were just like, somebody invited us to a house party. And that's when we kind of found our, what we like to call air quotations, tribe, or community, as you would like to call it. And so everything kind of was just different. We've been part of different play parties, and some have been a little bit kinkier than others. Some have been a little bit softer. Some have been less exhibitionist, and some have been more exhibitionist, like just wide out in the open. So it's just trying to figure out what you like and what you don't like.
And also the people too that you're choosing to play with.
Right.
There's, I think, a lot of different types of lifestyle or non-monogamy that people engage in. There's people that are more into just having sex and just fucking. There's people that are more into building more of a connection and having more of a friendship. And so you kind of want to navigate the people that are attending the play party that maybe you're invited to as well. And if they kind of match what you're looking for as a couple.
Yeah, then you find like that kind of, like I said, your community, your tribe as it is. And it's so funny once you get invited to the first house party and you start making friends. It's just a matter of time until you're invited to the next one, to the next one, to the next one.
Right, of course.
As long as you're like, being
respectful.
Consensual, respectful, practicing safe sex and stuff like that,
Yeah, all the important things.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, those are like, it's kind of funny. Those are like the fundamentals of like going to any place where there potentially is play. It's kind of that whole, the pre discussion that you have to have with your partner about potentially what may or may not happen. And then when you get there, being open and honest with the people that are there to make sure that you let them know, hey, by the way, this might be our first time, stuff like that. Because again, telling people kind of your level of experience gives them an understanding of where maybe you're at. And then they might be able to either point you in the direction of somebody that can help you, or they might help you. So I think that that's one thing about the community that I love too, even more, is that once you get into, your progression and you start getting into the different types of relationships that you want to try out and different things that you want to try, there's a lot of people out there that really want to help.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, no, well, and it's, again, I mean, we talked about community before, but I mean, it's my other favorite C word, communication, back in the game right here. I mean, it's all about talking about it with your partner, with the people that you're meeting, and, just putting it out there and, like James has mentioned, being honest.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, and once you're honest with somebody, I think there's this like almost opening up of a lot of people when you're around them that'll like just kind of like are attracted to your energy of your honesty and your and they just kind of want to be around you. It's great once you start again finding out where you kind of fit in.
Right. I'm curious, have you guys had any experience with, I know we know the phrase, there's an app for that, because let's face it, there's an app for just about everything these days. I know you guys have probably were experienced with play parties maybe before the app started rolling out, but have you found that to be a useful tool for finding people who want to play?
Like that's kind of how we started out, was more online.
Okay.
And to be honest, like
We didn't use the app.
we found it to be a little bit superficial.
On the apps?
Yeah. And like we are more about like the connection and making sure that we can like establish a friendship with the people that we're playing with.
But we didn't know that at first.
No, we didn't know this at first.
We were a little superficial in the beginning.
Yeah. And then I think once, like James said, we got invited to this house party, and then we started to meet more of the local community and people who kind of were on the same vibe as us. That's when we were like, yeah, like the apps, they didn't really do it for us.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
we never went down the app sort of thing.
We didn't find any play parties on the apps.
It was mostly just online dating sites such as Cassidy.com, AFF. We had a little bit. And when we started, it was actually kind of bad. We started out on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Oh, back in the heydays, Craigslist was the best.
Oh, yeah. It's just interesting. Yeah, that's kind of where we started. And, you know, we fumbled through different sort of meetings and relationships and kind of, you know, dating other people and seeing what it was like.
I think too, yeah, like the best play parties we've ever had have been from going out to an event or something.
Yeah. And then getting invited to the next one.
Yeah. Or even something happening at that event, you know, like,
Yeah.
And it also like led us towards meeting more people and expanding our circle. And I feel like the more pressure we tried to put on ourselves to like play and find parties and like search online, the less fulfilling those experiences were.
Yeah,
for
it
us.
became less satisfying for sure.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. So what would be your advice then for, you know, people out there who maybe have never attended a play party, but they're interested in it and they're not really sure where to start with, you know, locating one and sort of meeting people who might become part of their tribe, as James calls it. Like what would be your advice for them?
I would definitely start with researching some of the local venues that are available to you to meet people who are more open-minded. So like a lifestyle club, sex club, some people call it. We have 5 in our city, so they're pretty popular. And even if that's a little bit too intimidating to you, if you're really, really new, try and look for more meet and greets. So like we do a monthly social and we host this in a vanilla bar. We have anywhere from 30 to 60 people attending once a month, and it's just to meet people. And sometimes we'll have something like a bingo card we give out for people to go around and try and find somebody who's done the things on the bingo card, or we'll do speed dating. But really right? Like you want it to be a more organic environment to meet the people and have the opportunity to be your authentic self so that you can see if you actually click with the people that you're meeting as well. And a really good way, honestly, to find it is Google, or there are sites more directed to the lifestyle and open relationships like Cassidy.com, SDC.com. Those ones are more big in the States. In Canada, what's the ones that we have?
We have Indulge Lifestyle. We have My Wild Lifestyle. There's so many different ones. There's Fet Life too.
Mm-hmm. But these are a good place to start. And my biggest piece of advice is just don't get lost on the websites. Like actually get out to something and don't get lost trying to chat with people about maybe going to an event or meeting for a date or meeting for a potential play party or pre-date play party for weeks on end. Like, try and get an actual date within, a couple weeks of meeting these people online.
Yeah, that's one of the big things is try your best to get out there.
Because that's where you're going to learn the most, is just life experience.
Yes.
Right.
Totally the number one place that we recommend is get yourself out there, find people that are out there and stuff like that. Because honestly, if you don't get out there, it's so hard to find. Not to say that you can't find, like you will find it, but it's so much harder. Like the community as a whole is so inviting.
My other recommendation too would be to travel also to either a resort like Desire or Hedonism or an event like Naughty and Nollins. You don't have to play if this is your first time going. You can even go for like 2 or 3 days. But that's where you can start to meet people. Everybody's super friendly at these places, and you can strike up conversation with them. Maybe they live like close by you guys, like in the same state or province, and they know some of the good hot spots to go to meet people. So that's kind of my suggestion.
Yeah, but my thing though is even then you're going to these resorts. A lot of times, if you want to go and have experiences, more often than not, a lot of people say bring the party with you. So bring people with you that you're comfortable with. Bring, I know, but
if you're
like
new,
I'm just
James,
saying, I know if you're
and
new,
honestly, you don't need that for like temptations.
But it would be better if you were at a local spot and found local things, because that would be more. I think that would be a better option than having to find somebody in a different state or a different province or somewhere else. I think that going to your local stuff is how you will probably find your weekend parties and stuff like that. Like Taara mentioned earlier, like your socials and like gatherings and meet and greets and those like things. There's a lot of cities and a lot of
There's
people
actually
that will...
Colette is a brand that has 3 clubs, 2 in Texas and 1 in New Orleans.
Louisiana.
Nice.
In Louisiana. And they just opened like a social club too, like where there's no play on premise. The idea is just for people who are in open relationships to come and meet there and just get to know each other rather than having more emphasis on playing. So.
Which sounds like is basically like what, what both of you have sort of advised as being a great thing, is getting to know people first before, deciding if you want to play with those people.
That's just how we roll. I mean, it's not like how everybody does it in the lifestyle.
Right.
So be prepared for that. But
be prepared for the people that just want to fuck.
Yeah.
Because there are those people.
And then that's happened to us. We've met people who we've had that experience with, and then afterwards, like, we don't even talk to them, and we're like, it doesn't really make us feel that good. So I don't think we're going to do that anymore. Like, how fulfilling was that for us? Like, I mean, they might have been fulfilled, which is great, but somebody got filled.
Yeah.
We all got filled.
Yeah, well, like we said at the very beginning, not every relationship is the same fit for everyone. So, I mean, it goes without saying that the same rules apply to, what people are looking for when they do come to play.
Exactly.
And then the different varieties that are out there. Like, there is something for pretty much everyone. Like, so whatever your wants, needs, desires are, find people with similar sort of things, and over time the progression will probably lead you to a play party that is the perfect fit for you, the right
talk
people.
Talk about it too with people that you meet. Like I've talked about wanting to have a really solid single male come into our relationship and kind of be like the friend, but the extra cock. And like, I've had girlfriends recommend single males to me. So the more you're communicating with your friends and the people you're meeting about what you're potentially looking to experience, I mean, they're looking out for that too. They'll let you know if they know somebody or something. And it might not be the fit for them, right? So then you might be finding, okay, you might not be the right fit for them, but you might know somebody that's a great fit for them of what they're looking for. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that we always said about the lifestyle is that there's no short of variety when it comes to different experiences.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people are looking for in their relationships in general. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun when you get out there. Trust me, it can be a little overwhelming. Not to say that it's not like, and not to say that even when you go to a play party, it's going to be like play in your face right away. So like even most clubs, they have their play space away from the front door. It's like,
It's not sex everywhere.
it's not sex
Right.
everywhere. That's a big misconception that a lot of people have about like orgies or play parties or even lifestyle clubs as a whole is that once you walk in, it's like, oh, am I just going to be bombarded with sex? Is sex going to be in my face, shoved in my face? Is this how it's going to be? And more often than not, it's far from it. There are parties that are like that where you can go to if you want to, but more often than not, it's, they put the play off to the side or way in the back.
Yeah.
And not to say that they're discouraging that, they're just trying to make a comfortable space for potential newbies and that sort of
laws
thing.
too, like
Absolutely.
you can't have nudity in front of a doorway and stuff like that. So
I'm curious, now that you've brought it up, can you think of any other misconceptions that people have sort of about the lifestyle that we'd like to just, dispel here and now?
I have one.
I have a bunch. My head just went like, okay, let's do this one. I like this one.
Okay, so I think some people might think that those who are in a non-monogamous relationship aren't in a solid relationship, that they're doing it to fix their relationship, that they're doing it because they can't get each other off or each other happy or whatever it is. And like, I find majority, not all, because not every community is perfect, but majority of couples are very solid, loving towards each other, care for each other, and are doing it to amplify and enhance what they already have, not to take away or not because they don't like each other.
Yeah, it's like a bonus.
Yeah.
It's like the cherry on top of an amazing sundae.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the big misconceptions is that everybody who is in non-monogamy or the lifestyle is in amazing shape or has the best body or only like the, 9s and 10s.
Yeah.
And I'm not a 10. I'm not a 9 either. Well, I guess I'd say I'm a 10, but I'm a 10. No, but even then,
it's true.
There's so many different body types, different people,
breasts,
ethnicities,
different penises,
genders. There's different penises, different vaginas, different boobs. There's so many different people that are enjoying themselves in a non-monogamous sense or in a lifestyle sort of sense. It's not just for a specific type of person
or how you look
how you look. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad that you highlighted that for sure, because I want to say that that's probably something that some of my friends have thought, when we've talked about non-monogamy or just open relationships in general is, I'm not hot enough to, be enjoyed by multiple people. And I cannot stand that is a thought that goes through people's heads.
Yeah, that really, it breaks my heart to hear. And like, that's a huge reason I do a women's course, and I start off with self-love, because you have to love yourself if you're going to do this. If you don't love your body, your mind, and your soul, you will let people take advantage of you in this. And you have to be strong. You have to be strong and love yourself and honor yourself and respect yourself in order to do something like this. And I learned that the hard way, but
yeah, I think like we talked about earlier, one of the things that the lifestyle brings is confidence. And again, so
like when you go to Hedo and you see all the different body types naked on the beach, nobody cares. And I'm talking every type of body you can think of. Like you just don't care anymore. You're like, oh, we're all in this together.
Everyone's a 10.
Yeah, like. Oh.
Well, and that's the thing too. Not everybody is is attracted to that sort of I don't know, like that's perfect, like that. I don't know. I don't want to call like the perfect body, but you know what I'm saying, like
Right.
that ideology of what beauty has been portrayed
Yeah.
through media and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like, yes, okay. To be fair, that the lifestyle resorts and clubs and places are going to put hot people on the covers and the pictures and stuff like
Yes.
that,
Oh, good point, James.
and all of this stuff, because
We hear that a lot
it's
from
just
people.
because that's how you sell tickets. It's no fault of anybody own, but like I'm not to say that any body type is less or not, but I don't know, if I were to be going to a resort, I would want to know that there might be people that I find
Absolutely.
attractive. So if if the majority people find them attractive, but again, it's kind of this facade.
It is.
Not everybody's a 9 and 10. Everybody has a place within the lifestyle. And you know what? Another big kind of misconception is that everybody fucks and everybody just plays with whoever, whenever,
Yes.
whatever. There's like unlawlessness within like a lifestyle or sex party or whatever it happens to be. It's just far from it. Like I said earlier, owning your no is such an empowering thing. Taara talks about it in her spiritual slut course. Just this whole idea of owning yourself, like owning what you want, and being able to say no and be comfortable with it. That's a big thing, because a lot of people have a hard time saying no.
Yeah. Yeah. No, those are all great tips. And I'm almost done with you guys, but I feel like I have to ask you, do you have a favorite play party moment, or specific party you've attended to share with us?
Oh, there's so many amazing memories.
Hold on, you just made it sound like total sluts.
Well, we are.
Okay, we are.
Spiritual sluts. It's okay.
Yes.
Ethical sluts.
I think your birthday, the one that I organized, is one of my favorite.
Why you gotta steal mine?
Is that the one you were going to say? Well, that was like a play party that it didn't take much
Effort.
organizing, and everybody already knew each other, so everybody was super comfortable with each other. I sent James off to go pick up all of the ladies at their houses by himself, and I got the hotel room ready, and
with a bunch of dudes.
Well, they came later.
I have to remind, yes.
But I think there was probably 7 or 8 other couples, and so quite a few of us, and we got in trouble twice for making too much noise in the hotel room.
That's a good party then.
No, because we have to get to the sex. And so I was like, all right, guys, take the clothes off, and
time to get naked.
And we had so much fun for hours and hours with everybody. And
it was a blast.
It was just so organic too. It wasn't forceful. Some people played, some didn't, some played with each other, with other people exclusively, some were open to whatever, and it worked really well. It was good energy. And
mine,
because I stole yours.
Yeah.
Stole mine.
She stole it, so you have to come up with another one.
I got a limo with 8 women, so that was rough. There's a lot of different ones. I think the most memorable ones are the ones where something kind of happened that was kind of funny.
Like what?
There was one time at Hedonism where we had a few cocktails and we were back in our room with a couple, and she had to go to the bathroom, and so he picked up from between her and she swung her foot over and clocked him.
Honey, that's not a sexy play party story.
Roundhouse kicked him in the face. That was hilarious.
I mean,
come on.
I just said favorite, and if memorable is favorite, memorable can be defined in very different ways.
Very different ways. No, and that's not the sexiest. The sexiest one I think for me was probably we had gone to a buddy's birthday party at a bar, and it was what we like to call a swirl party. So it was lifestylers and non-lifestylers. And we call them muggles.
Love it.
Because they don't understand our magical world. Harry Potter reference. But anyway, so we went to this swirl party, and so the lifestylers all kind of congregated over on one side at the bar, and we all started talking, and we said, we should we should go back and have a play party for the birthday boy, but he's going to have to come afterwards to the house as he deals with his birthday party.
I know exactly which one this is.
And I would hope so.
No, I didn't know
you were
first.
there.
Yes, I know.
And so I think there was 12 of us that had gone back to the house where the play party was going to take place. And we all kind of like started just mingling and chilling in the kitchen. And I don't know, it's usually a matter of time till somebody takes their clothes off. And I think
Right.
somebody did and ran upstairs, and then a bunch of guys ran after her. And so we were all like upstairs in the master bedroom, which was this nice master bedroom with a big shower and a couch. And it was just a lot of bodies everywhere. And finally, the birthday boy showed up, and he had brought his girlfriend and another single woman. And literally, they walked into the house with nobody in the downstairs, walked all the way upstairs, opened the master bedroom door, came in. I was the first one to see him, and I yelled "Happy Birthday!" And all he could see was just a bunch of naked bodies, and everybody goes, "Happy birthday!" And he's like, "You guys got started without me," and it was like, "Yes, we did."
That is probably like the most epic, surprise party style like that I could ever think of.
Right?
Yeah, I just wanted to imagine what it would be like for him sitting at the bar being like, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. Why am I talking to all these people? This is not where I want to be.
I know what's going on.
There's something going on back at a house that I want to be part of. So I could just, that my thought process goes to him trying to leave and being like, hey, we gotta go. Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad.
Well, and needless to say, a memorable birthday, not just for him, but for everyone involved.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Taara and James, this has been so lovely having you. And I really appreciate, everything that you've shared with us today, but also just the fact that, like you said, when you first started blogging and putting all this information out there about the lifestyle and non-monogamy, it was just to get it out there so people could connect with it and maybe find resources that you didn't have when you were first beginning to be non-monogamous. So thank you so much for that and for joining us today.
Thank you. This was really nice and a pleasure to be interviewed too, I must say.
Yeah, it's a little different when we get to sit here and spout off a bunch of bullshit. I'm not saying bullshit. I'm just saying it's nice to be able to answer the questions and not have to think of the questions and ask the people.
Well, you did a wonderful job, so thank you.
Thank you.
Whether you're looking to buy or sell used panties, Sofia Gray has got you covered. If you want to earn some extra cash, you can set up your own shop in minutes and start selling your own used underwear. And they take no commission. You'll keep 100% of every single sale that you make. If you've got a kink for used panties and you're looking to buy your next pair, look no further. Oh, and did we mention the whole process is completely anonymous? Sofia Gray will never share, store, or archive your personal information. The name Sofia Gray won't even appear on your bank receipt. So head on over to sofiagray.com to start selling or buying used panties now. If you're a fan of the podcast, we hope you'll subscribe on your favorite podcast streaming platform. You can also leave us a review on Apple Podcasts to let us know what you think. And while you're at it, feel free to share your feedback or questions by sending us an email to podcast@sofiagray.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Lacey Bloom, and I'm here to say, let them be kinky. There's no kink shaming here.